Hello everybody, and in this video I will be talking about the highly controversial yet important event of Chinese history called the Xi'an Incident, and its massive impact on China and Taiwan. To start off, we should start by talking about China's former leader Chiang Kai-shek. He was a general and a leader of China at some point until he was overthrown by the communists and Mao Zedong. This video will cover and discuss the events that caused the communists to invade Chiang Kai-shek's position. Beginning on 1936, Chiang Kai-shek was forced by his army, the Nationalists, to sacrifice his own priorities in order to prevent the Japanese from invading China. But little did they know that they were benefiting the CCP, which is the Chinese Communist Party, in some way that will be further analyzed later. Chiang Kai-shek was mainly focused on eliminating the Communist Party because he wanted to control its political power. However, his military general Zhang Xiaoliang feared being defeated and overthrown by the Japanese, who executed his father. He wanted to get his revenge on them. At first, Chiang Kai-shek was especially focused on eliminating the CCP so that he could control and keep his political power. On December 4th, 1936, Chiang Kai-shek personally went to Xi'an, China, to give lectures to the General Zhang Xiaoliang and General Yang Hucheng on the matter of quelling communist rebellion. This is significant because it signifies the fact that Chiang Kai-shek was very eager to eliminate the Communist Party and that he would do anything to do so. Even punishing his own army and generals would be an option. It also kind of makes clear that the Communist Party poses quite a big threat towards him. General Zhang Xiaoliang wanted to overthrow the Japanese and defeat them before they would do any harm to China. However, Chiang Kai-shek was scared that his army would be so weakened in the fight against the Japanese that it would be the clear way for the Communist Party to seize power. He decided that his first task must be to destroy the Red Army. The Red Army is the name of the Russian military at the time. Only then will he turn his attention to the task of driving the Japanese out of Manchuria and China. This evidence makes clear that the Chiang Kai-shek is afraid of losing to the communists, which will result in him losing all his power. If he prioritized eliminating the Red Army instead of Japanese, he would be less vulnerable to an attack by the Russian and Chinese communists together. This was very important because the Red Army wanted Chiang to convert to communism or stall Chiang until the Communist Party was strong enough to challenge and defeat Chiang. Either way, Chiang needed to go against the Red Army and the Communist Party if he wanted to keep his political power, which he preferred over the needs of his country. Zhang Xiaoliang, the military general I mentioned before, was less concerned about the Communist Party as Chiang than he was of Chiang's inaction against foreign aggressors, the Japanese. This is important because this is one of the reasons why the Xi'an incident ever occurred. It was due to one man's attention to detail. This also makes clear that being experienced and being a trustworthy general that he is, if he feared the Japanese more than the Communist Party, this theorizes that the CCP are much weaker than Chiang thought. But alarmingly, apparently Zhang Xiaoliang had a score to settle. His warlord father was lost in the Manchurian base when they had to fight against the Japanese. This was highly crucial as it shows a huge bias from the warlord, Zhang Xiaoliang. It shows that there is more to why he wanted to fight the Japanese. It was not just the pride of China, or should I say the nationalist pride, that he was trying to save, but he was trying to avenge his father. So he kidnapped Chiang Kai-shek right as Chiang Kai-shek stepped foot on Xi'an and forced him to join the CCP, forming the Second United Front to defend against the Japanese. This raises a red flag towards the question whether or not joining forces with the Communist Party was the right thing to do. The nationalists were greatly weakened by the Japanese because they joined forces with the Communist Party, and the reason to why they joined the forces in the first place was because of Zhang Xiaoliang's personal priorities, clearly leaving an open opportunity for the Communist Party to seize or contest the nationalists. Then, as I said before, came the Second United Front, the alliance between the nationalists and the Communist Party. Theoretically, the Second United Front was going to end up being more advantageous for the Communist Party rather than nationalists. According to some famous historians, the Communist Party used the Second United Front to its advantage. In the mid-1930s, the communist foothold in the northern Shanxi was very fragile. But representing their actions in 1936-37 as a commitment to the anti-Japanese resistance, the Communist Party won so much support and trust from the peasants, which will serve as important civilians that will support the CCP later on. This notably shows that the CCP had successfully manipulated the opportunity to rise above the nationalists, and it shows how, because of their commitments and patience, they gained recognition and support from the lower class population. This also makes clear that the Communist Party had rescued themselves from nearly falling apart. it hints at the fact that without the presence of the Japanese, the Communist Party could have been fully eradicated. So technically, thank you Japan for turning China communist. Remarkably, in 1972, Mao told the Japanese Prime Minister Kakoi Tanaka he was grateful for the Japanese presence in China in 1930 because by distracting and weakening the nationalists, the Japanese had saved the communists from destruction. Many historians agree that without the communists' 1936 truce with the Northeast Army, aka the Nationalists, and that army's December kidnapping of Chiang Kai-shek, they might have tightened the noose and eliminated the Russians. This is surely quite alluring. It shows how much the Japanese had saved the Communist Party to the point where even Mao thanked them personally for their presence. It also makes clear that without the Xi'an Incident, Chiang Kai-shek could have successfully eliminated both the Communist Party and the Red Army. This would have allowed Chiang Kai-shek to successfully consolidate his political power, along with the ability to lead China in a different political direction under his huge empire. To end this video on this monumental event of history, because of the impact of the nationalists on Chiang Kai-shek, only then was he willing to battle the Japanese, aware that the Communist Party was strengthened but unable to do anything about it. It was a pivotal moment for China, as this was the incident that eventually drove the nationalists to flee to Taiwan. Zhang Xiaoliang's decisions may have debatably ruined the nationalist empire in China and have opened the gate for Mao and the communists. Thank you for watching.